Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at the technical analysis, what's been going on most recently, what we think is likely to happen next, and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into this video, if you find it useful, informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky. And if you haven't yet actually joined us down in the Discord server, links in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Okay, Bitcoin paired up with USDT. This is the daily chart, and Binance is our data source. I wanted to start here because I wanted to talk about the 100 EMA and the 200 EMA, and of course a little bit of Elliott Wave in there as well, and some typical kind of stuff that we see from technical analysts around the world, right? Okay, so let's just going to get in straight into it, right? The light white line, this brighter one down here, this is the 100 EMA, and up the top here, this is the 200 EMA. This is basically a glorified moving average, and you can find these in the indicators, and you can feel free to put them on and change them up, right? And what you can see here is that these are typically used across stock markets or forex markets and in the crypto space as well, to ascertain whether or not we are bullish or whether we are bearish. Okay, and it's an glamorous kind of way of looking at it. Basically, if you're below this average line, then you're going to be in bear market territory, and if you're above the line, then you're going to be in slightly more bullish territory, right? That's essentially what you want to be looking at. Now, one of these lines is more important than the other, and that's going to be the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA is usually and typically is the trend filter. This helps us understand whether we're trending up or trending down. And I don't personally use them. I much prefer Elliott Wave theory. But if you're not using Elliott Wave theory and you're not looking for some kind of market structure, then you're going to be looking at EMAs, or moving averages, or some kind of way of understanding whether or not we are in a trend upwards or a trend downwards. And the 200 EMA is the one that pretty much most experienced traders are going to use and say, we're trending down when we're below it, and we're trending up if we're above it, okay? Now, we're on the daily time frame here, so let's go and zoom this out just a fraction and take a stock of the situation, okay? So basically, during the bull run of 2021, we were pretty much hovering above the line of the 100 and above the 200 EMA. Okay, we crossed both of them briefly here in this initial pullback. Okay, we crossed both of them again, turning them into a bit of support, and we come back up into the all-time high. We broke them, we retested, we got rejected. We then tested and tested again whilst coming up here, and we pushed up higher, breaking above. And one of the things that's really interesting about this particular area here is obviously in crypto, we are in a market that is so heavily dominated by whales and market makers who can manipulate the price movements to suit their own narratives. What we had here was actually a really interesting time, right? Because what we see is this 200 EMA not only got to get tested, it got broken and then turned into a support line right here. This would have been a seriously bullish tell for many experienced individuals in the space, thinking that this is the beginning of a bull market. Now, Elliott Wave theory told us actually here was going to be a reversal point and we're likely to go on down. So if you go back in the channel and you look at where we're talking about during late February and into March, I was basically saying from these low points down here, we're going to be targeting 47.5K. Everyone was saying all sorts of things about us and not knowing what we're doing, yada yada yada, but up here we got to 48K and then we get rejected, right? So Elliott Wave theory knew this, and it knew this ahead of time because it was tracking people's behavior during this entire kind of structure here. Okay, so we could see that this was going to be the most probable area for reversal. And what was interesting is we tested this 200 EMA, turned to support. We didn't really get a chance to rally very far, and then we broke it. We lost it. We tested the 100, we lost it. We tested the 100, you lost it, and down you go. Okay, so it gives you a bit of a brief history here as to what is going on. And now, if we come into where we are right at this moment, we're testing this area. And are we going to get rejected? This is the question, right? Look, we broke it, we sat on it, we got rejected. We tested it with a wick, actually today, and it's getting rejected from the 100 EMA. This isn't even into question how far we are away from the 200 EMA. A lot of people are saying we're going to go ahead and test it. We have to rally up to 25K to do so. And obviously that is possible. And I want to kind of highlight this area here of previous demand. Okay, previous supply. This is our resistance zone, also known as a supply zone. This is where sellers are. And we can see here there's some sellers, here there's some sellers, and here there's some sellers. Now, admittedly, the buyers got a little bit more carried away with each movement to the upside, but essentially these sellers eventually took control and dragged the price down. And at the same time, we're going up in higher highs and higher lows and all that kind of nonsense that we normally see in the space. And essentially you break on down. So it's possible that we do this and we can go up as high as 25K and test the 200 EMA. But if we do that and we do go as high as that, the chances are there's going to be an absolute colossal drop to the downside. And the reason is you're going to be so heavily overbought in doing so. And I don't think it's highly likely. I don't think this is probable. It's possible, but not probable. So if I bring this back over here, because I don't think it's actually something that we're going to need, we're going to really pay attention to this area here. But chances are we're going to get rejected from this range and we're going to be heading on down. Now, as I've been looking at this from an Elliott wave theory point of view, you can see we go down in one wave, we go up in two, and we're down in three. We've got this little demand zone just down here, 16,300 to 16,700. This seems to be the most likely scenario from this area. We broke out of the triangle in an upward directional move. That's okay. That's not unusual. 1, 2, and 3. That's fine. And then I'm looking at this as a breakdown. Okay, so we've completed the 3 waves up, and now we're looking to break on down. And we'll probably look for 3 waves in it. It wouldn't be a straight line. I would be looking at this, maybe kind of finding this area of demand just down here, the small one. We bounce from there, then we come on down, and it's like this. So we end up with this kind of 3-wave drop. So that's kind of my expectation. It can, of course, be 5 if we really wanted to. We could probably see 1, 2, some kind of move here. We bounce, we reject from this area that was previous support, turns to resistance, and then we come down like that. That's also possible. And it'll be 3, 3, 5 in that particular scenario. It doesn't indicate that we're trending down in any big way. But I did want to kind of start here and just highlight the fact that there's some stuff going on here that doesn't actually look overly bullish, right? There's a lot of people out there being really bullish, really confident in the space. And I'm sat here thinking to myself, the data doesn't look overly confident. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence looking at just the charts. But we can go deeper than that. We could, of course, talk about the wallets, and I talk about this every day on Twitch, but you can kind of see, the sharks, the 100 Bitcoin or more wallets are decreasing as price is going up. We have the whale wallets at 1,000 Bitcoin decreasing as price goes up, and we do have the Kraken size wallet increasing. This is the 10,000 Bitcoin wallet, right? This is increasing. This is interesting because it's following exactly what's happened in previous cycles. And if I go over into the 2018 Kraken size wallets, they accumulate, and then they end up dumping it in right to bring in that bear market bottom. Okay, so I'm not confident. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all this data. I'm looking at the inflows and the outflows. There's not really much demand happening there. I'm looking at the wallets, and big money is basically just looking at manipulating things or exiting the space and isn't really getting too involved, all the way through to looking at typical kind of tools that are used by traders, whether that is the stock market or the forex, such as the EMAs, so these trend filters, and are they actually giving us any decent signals as well? And they're not. Elliott wave theory also not giving us those good, clear signals. And likewise, when we have a look at our indicators here, where are we actually sat? Well, we're really high on the stochastic RSI on the 1-day time frame. If I come up to the weekly, we're up here in the overbought area as well. And if we take a look at these EMAs, even on this weekly standpoint, look, we got rejected here from the 200 EMA. This is the 200, the slightly grey line here. We got rejected here. So we broke it, we tested it, and we got rejected, guys. Like, we're looking at the 100 was support. We broke it. We haven't retested either of these yet, and these are yet to cross over. So things aren't actually looking that great. And also, we're up here in this overbought area, right? And the last time that we were up this high, we were actually down over here. In fact, look at this, right? Here's a divergence for you, right? So when we take a look at this, we can see that we're going higher on our stochastic RSI, okay? So basically, we've gone more overbought now than we were when the price was up here, when we were higher in the price chart. Look at that, okay? So we're setting lower highs while setting a higher high on the stochastic RSI. So straight off the bat, we know that this thing is not positive. This is not something that we want to be overly confident with, thinking that we're in a bull run, thinking that we're going to the upside. So there's a lot of things we need to think about. There's lots of data points outside of the charts. There's lots of data points inside the charts. There's a lot of things that people just simply aren't looking at because they don't serve a narrative that we're in a bull market. And I think that's really dishonest. And I really don't think that's something that I want to kind of support in this space. You're not going to see me tell you something if I do not believe in it. I'm telling you that I think that this bear market is probably halfway, maybe even 3/4 of the way through, but definitely not over. And I'm thinking that we've got a new lower low to come, and it's going to shock a lot of people, specifically those who have been accumulating heavily, thinking that the bottom is in from June. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I'm not going to go into more. of the ins and the outs of all these kind of things that are going on. But I want to give you a brief update here on that kind of slightly big zoomed out view of BTC, because so many people, and I see it in the comments all the time, the bottom is in, and there was one crazy comment I saw the other day, which was the bottom is in even if we go down into a new lower low, and it just blows my mind how people are feeling this way about the market when I'm just not seeing why they're feeling this way from all the data that I rely on and understand when I'm looking at these things. Nothing here is giving me the positivity and the positive vibes that you get from so many other individuals in the space right now. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you feel about the 100 and 200 EMAs getting tested quite heavily right now? How do you feel about Elliott wave theory, the ideas of new lower lows? How do you feel about those wallets and the fact that big money is just exiting out of both Bitcoin and Ethereum? Let me know in the comments. I'm super interested to get your thoughts and opinions on it, guys. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.